Don't the best videos come with warnings? So you guys remember a couple episodes back when I killed Missouri's smallest 8-point buck? Yeah, thankful. I wanted to make this next series of videos, which I talk about knives that I use and why. I show you guys how we like to skin our deer. I cut up specific cuts of meat and talk about how to get them out of there and what you can make them into, even how I dispose when I'm done. We take the party inside the kitchen. We cut fat off, we trim silver skin. I talk about packaging. This is a one-stop shop. Enjoy. This is your warning right off the bat. This video contains skinning a whitetail buck, cutting up, processing the meat, deboning, packaging. It has a lot to do with meat, and I'm going to show you guys how I skin and process my meat. If you don't want to see this, leave now, okay? This is your chance. If it's not for you, get gone. If it is for you, not saying it's the only way, but it's my way. All right, here we go. We got a deer hanging in the tree. Today's the last day of regular firearm season. I got lucky and had a tiny little buck come out yesterday, but I didn't even care because I needed the meat, so I get it, he's small, make fun of me, don't care. But cool thing is, that's gonna be jalapeno cheddar summer sausage and deer jerky. So we're gonna get him in the shop and get to work on it. So I start out by putting a tarp in the shop floor that catches all the stuff. We rigged up this hoist system last year, or 3 years ago, and we hang them from the head, we skin them down, and then we debone as we go, throw into the tubs. Once we've got all the meat off the bone, we move it into the kitchen and continue the process. Lily's a spectator though. She's uninterested in getting hands dirty. However, this one right here has a strong affinity for skinning deer. Okay, so I use a couple different knives for this process. This is what I use to skin my deer with. It's a very small knife. Works great. I can really maneuver it, get in there, pull the skin, cut it away. So I use this one for skinning only. Once we've got the skin off, I switch to this knife, which is just a really nice fillet knife. Kind of a thin blade, but you can get down in there and feel those bones and you can drag it right along the edges of the bone. Works great. So you can do it with a pocket knife too. This is what sharpens your knives. Spend money on a good steel. So I go around the neck, and once I get it kind of loose, I start working my way in.
Does the skin look red and swollen?
Kind of feeling as I go. It kind of takes a while to get it started, but once you get it started, it's actually not bad at all.
That's what she said.
That's my joke. Damn it, Dwight.
I know a lot of guys hang these deer the other way, head down. I am lost if I do that. I couldn't skin one to save my life that way. Everything just seems backwards. I think that just goes back to how you were taught or how you learned. So I'm working my way down. You just keep pulling with one hand and trimming with the other. Ooh, that's some good neck meat. No, it's because of when the season happens. You can't kill them whenever they're pregnant. That's in the springtime. Yeah, they do it that way on purpose. That way you can't kill one that has babies in it. That'd be awful. Remember, once we get past these front shoulders, it goes quick. Yeah, that's where the bullet went in, right there. That's the bullet hole. That's actually called silver skin. Believe it or not, that's a fatty tissue that we cut whenever we process it in the kitchen, we get rid of all that. That stuff is nasty, chewy. You could chew on that until you die and you'd never get it chewed up. No, it doesn't have lungs in it anymore. It cannot breathe. And it's dead, so there's that. Hey, leave my skin alone. What you doing to my skin? Kitty's like, I know what you're doing in there, and I want to lick it. What? It's freaking freezing out.
We're supposed to go
Roll it up so you got something to hold on to. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good. Oh, yeah, it ain't. It's stuck. Gosh, I thought they'd never leave. Well, there's that. So that's the skinning portion of this shindig. Look at that. That is a giant chunk of ham. Chunk of ham? Chunk of ham. Look at that meat. That's good. That's what I was saying about this thin knife. You can get in here and find the bones with it. You just follow the bones and it does the work itself, really. And remember when you do this, guys, you can spend as much or little time as you want on it. I have seen people absolutely pick them apart where there's no meat left inside, like in between the ribs and stuff. They cut all that out. If that's you, you know what? It's your deer, it's your tag. Congrats. I just kind of hit the big stuff and roll on. Normally, I would say we kill plenty of deer. However, this year it's only been 1.5 thus far. So this year's kind of hurting us a little bit. See, that's good for that leg. Got that little chunk right there, but there's a bone inside of it. There's the other ham. That's probably not called a ham. I call it a ham. Man, there's a lot of meat on this dude. That's one tub full of just this back end. These are the tenderloins. A lot of people call this the tenderloin when technically it's the backstrap. These loins are actually on the inside of the deer, and that is the best meat, hands down. On the back straps, the spine runs right down the middle. What you want to do is start up here and get your knife next to it and just run it down the middle, peel this layer back, and then you'll see it. And you just keep working away until you get the thing out of there in one big old chunk. You'll go down and eventually hit the ribs on this bottom side. See, once you get rid of that layer of fat, Now you can see that's your back strap right there. You can see right where to cut it out. And I'm better on one side than the other. I can't remember which. I don't think this is my good side. I hope this isn't my good side. But if you find the rib cage, you can almost let your knife just follow along the ribs and keep working back and forth, and eventually it'll just kind of fall out of there. Like that. That is a back strap. It's what everybody loves so much. And then you can come through and clean it up. Once you get him out of there, I go down the other side the same way. There's number 2. That's the good stuff right there, boys and girls. And you just keep whittling away until you've got everything you want to get. Now, this front end, he's a little bit hurt on this side. I don't know what we're gonna get off of this one. That's why I normally try to stay away from the shoulders if I can, because man alive, you just ruin a lot of meat if you get in that shoulder. This neck meat is really good for jerky or grind, whatever you prefer. You don't hardly get any of that on a doe or a smaller one, but and this buck don't have a whole lot of it because I mean he's a smaller buck, but you get a good big mature buck, he will have a lot of neck meat on him this time of year. A lot of people blow right past it. I'm sure someone's gonna comment and say, I didn't do this or didn't do that, right? But that's the beauty of it, guys. We can do it how we want. And as long as we can sleep at night, it's nobody else's business. Just keep trimming away until you're tired of it or you feel like you've done the animal justice. That's just about gonna do it for me. All right, we'll cut the head off and take this party to the kitchen. I'll bury this in the ground, and next summer it'll be a Euro mount. Bury it just like this. The rest of this gets rolled up in the tarp. I take it back to the property that I killed it at. I drop it off there for the coyotes to eat. Now we carry the meat in the house. We'll do the rest of it in the kitchen. Wearing something comfy and listening to the radio. So here's what we ended up with. Grind or jerky, we'll see when we get there. This is just a ton of the hams and the big chunky stuff. You can make roasts out of that, steaks. And then we've got the back straps and the inner loins. Before you start cutting, you gotta decide what cuts you want, right? There is no have-to thing with this. You can make the entire deer into jerky. You can make the entire deer into burger or sausage, or you can break it up. You can do roasts, steaks, some grind. You play with it and figure out what you and your family like, and do you. The kids love jerky. Normally I dehydrate it, but I've been smoking it lately, and that's been turning out really good. We also are big fans of the cheddar jalapeno summer sausage, and as you can see, I have 2 pieces of it left, and that's it. That's a completely different video, but I've already got the stuff for that. Here's all my packaging stuff. Here's my jalapeno or my summer sausage kits. I temp cheddar, and then I've got some pork butts in here, and I'll explain the pork butts when we get into grinding. But for right now, let's get with it. Can you guys see okay there? Also, I want to give a shout out while we're at it to my buddies over at Sasquatch Outdoors. They've got awesome merch too. I wear their stuff all the time. So what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of looking over. I'm getting any hair off of it. I'm just rinsing it with cold water. It's actually really clean. Only 1 or 2 pieces of hair. That's a good one. You can come in here. Yeah, this is just chill video, and I'm not worried about it. I think I'm gonna cut 1 chunk of this off, and we're gonna make you might like this. What about if we made a bacon-wrapped smoked deer tenderloin? So what if we took a chunk of this backstrap and then wrapped it in bacon and honey and brown sugar and then smoke it to where it's like a juicy steak with bacon crispy on the outside? You wanna try one of them?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we'll do this big fat end for that. Maybe that much. So this side's pretty good things, but you want to get this side off. You don't want that silver skin. That's exactly what I want right there. Red meat, very little fat in it. Get rid of that guy. And what I do for my jerky cuts is I go real thin, like less than 1/4 of an inch. About like that. And then you end up with that silver skin there. Come back and just trim that off. That's a piece of jerky. The big thing here is you want to slice them evenly. It don't matter how thin or thick you do it. As long as they're all even, that way when you either dehydrate or smoke them, they cook evenly. And just take your time. Those are jerky cuts all day long. Also, you can do those a little bit thicker if you want to, and those can now become steak cuts. Coming back at you here with the cast cam. Did you hear her laugh? So what we're left with is basically, this is the back ham sections. I'm gonna let this roll because it's kind of, cutting these up is kind of an interesting deal. And maybe one of you out there would like to know more about it. Maybe not. If you don't, forward it. These are one of my favorite cuts, honestly, on a deer. And I think the reason why is they're very, very versatile. You can literally make them into whatever you want. Like I said, steak, jerky, roast. There's really good roasts in here, which I still have, I think, a roast or 2 from last year. So I think we're good on the roast front. Maybe not. I think I cut them all up, actually. Hope you all can see this. So that's like, it's built up in layers. So if you can grab, see these folds here? If you can grab these folds, it'll almost just pull apart. But if you run your knife through them, this thing will come apart in layers. And I'm no butcher, so if you are a butcher and I'm talking out my butt, just tell me in the comments. See how that's opening up? Look at that. I'm just pulling it apart at that point. That's what I'm talking about. You can kind of separate those cuts. And the more you get them separated, the more it'll start to kind of make sense to you of what those cuts can be. So your steak cuts are just like your jerky cuts. They're just bigger. It's more shaped like a steak. Now I'll package them 2 or 3 to a bag. Okay. I asked Facebook what y'all would like to see, and the 2 big things were jerky and sausage. No, you must live in the dark. We're going for 10 pounds. Need 1, 2. There's 10 pounds of good red deer meat that we'll make summer sausage with. That's a different video. 6.1 pounds we're gonna make deer burger with. That's a different video. A couple of loins that we're gonna wrap in bacon and smoke. That's a different video. 5 packages of steaks. That'll be a video. And then I've got 2 big bags of jerky cuts. That'll be a video. So we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4 videos coming on how I cook these cuts of meats. This has actually been a lot of fun, guys. If you're still watching, I appreciate it. Please hit subscribe. That helps us a whole bunch. We're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers so we can get a YouTube plaque. Please subscribe if you're not. I'm guilty too. I watch a lot of channels and I don't subscribe to them. I'm trying to do better, and so can you. Appreciate it if you've watched this video. Let me know if you've got better ways to do something. I'm always glad to talk in the comments. And look forward to these cuts of meat coming soon. Thanks a lot.
All dang.